In a small, forgotten town, there lived an old man named Harold. His soul was a stormy sea of regret and self-loathing. Every morning, he would shuffle down the cobblestone streets, his eyes darting suspiciously at the townsfolk. He was convinced they whispered about him, plotted against him, and laughed at his misery. In truth, no one cared. They were too busy with their own lives to spare a thought for the bitter old man. Harold's days were filled with anger. He would lash out at anyone who crossed his path. Children playing in the park would scatter at the sight of him, their laughter turning to silence. Shopkeepers would brace themselves for his tirades, knowing that nothing they did could ever please him. He was a man at war with the world, but the real battle was within himself. His delusions grew stronger with each passing day. He imagined conspiracies in every corner, saw betrayal in every glance. The townspeople became mere shadows in his twisted mind, their indifference feeding his paranoia. He would sit by his window at night, staring into the darkness, convinced that the world was out to get him. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Harold's heart finally gave out. He collapsed in his small, cluttered home, surrounded by the echoes of his own bitterness. The town carried on, unaware of his passing. Life moved forward, as it always does, indifferent to the struggles of one lonely soul. In the end, Harold's misery was his own creation, a prison of his own making. The world had never conspired against him. It had simply moved on without him. And so, the old man with the miserable soul faded into obscurity, a cautionary tale of the dangers of self-inflicted isolation and the power of perception.